Good morning, friends, here at that 1870s Homestead, and my name's Rachel, and we have a super exciting, fun day with a new product that I have had for, I don't know, I think I bought it in 2020 when like the COVID thing all started happening, and I was doing one of my I'm not prepared enough buying sprees, and that is I bought myself a Wonder Mill and probably 200 pounds of wheat berries, which I'm fine with. Like, I am all for being prepared and everything, and they'll never go bad, or at least not in my lifetime. But I brought it up the other day because I've been intimidated to use it. And I said, okay, I need to just teach myself how to use it. But my grandson was over, and it sounds like a jet engine, and it scared him. So I was like, well, I'll just do it with you guys, and we'll learn how to use this together. And we're actually going to make some muffins with what I grind today. But yeah, let's get into it. It's going to be fun, and we're going to learn something new together. And maybe I'll introduce you to the product, and it's something that you've been interested in, and you just want to see how it works and like a real live person's review. This is not sponsored. I bought this with my own money and stuff. And there are, well, I'll tell you when we get into it. The unit does come with a lid that goes on this piece, and I think a typical mind would think when you put your grains in here, I know my brain thought like that, it's going to potentially fly out kind of like a mixer would or something. But this is only for storage purposes, so you're not getting dust and stuff in your mill. So don't use that during the processing of your grains or seeds or anything like that. Not seeds, but beans. It also came with this cool adapter unit. I haven't researched yet where this goes or how to use it, but it's for small grain and beans, things like garbanzo beans, tapioca, even coarse salt, amaranth, maybe corn, things like that. So I'm excited to try making my own cornmeal and other things like that, and potentially be using that in future videos. And then it also has 3 different settings. So a pastry setting for super, super fine grain, bread, and coarse. The manual does say for most recipes, you're typically gonna want the bread texture, which I think is what we're going for today. But first we need to clean it. Now, I have made this mistake twice now trying to film this video for you guys because my brain says put everything in, then turn it on. Nah, that's not the right way with this mill. You have to turn it on, then add your grain. And I don't know how other mills work, but maybe it's the same for all of them. But once I turn this on, I can't talk to you guys because it literally sounds like a jet engine. So I should probably have hearing protection on right now, but I'm gonna turn this on. We're gonna add this to do the cleaning process. And then we're going to actually the purpose of today's video is to grind a bunch of oat flour. So that's why I have my oats here. So ready? Do on first, Rachel. Missy? It's loud, isn't it? I did notice, like, so it, this flour catchment piece has a little filter on it. I did notice some slight, like, little dusty coming out. So keep that in mind. You may need to dust your countertops afterwards. So I think what I'm going to do now is disconnect this unit. Ooh, neat. I see my first real flour. It feels nice. It's still a little coarse. Okay, I'm just giving it a tap. I'd imagine that there's some flour on the lid. Oh, how about that? Well, I got flour from wheat berries for the first time. It comes out really warm. But look at that. It feels bad throwing all that away. I'm interested. Let's do it real quick. So that was 2 cups of wheat berries. How much flour did we get? I think it says like 8. The only thing that the manual says is assume like 8 cups of wheat berries gives you 12 cups of flour. It'll be good to have a reference. So it looks like 2 cups was right at 3 1/3 cups of flour. How about that? Nice. Well, I have to dump it, unfortunately. So now that I've made a mess, but our machine is clean, we are going to make oat flour. So I've started using a lot of oat flour in recipes as I'm cooking healthier for my grandson. And it's taught me that I like it. Just gonna pop that on. Sometimes this lid, you can't tell like when it's like necessarily snapped on. And I think I'm just gonna go with 4 cups for now of rolled oats. And assuming that that'll give me, you know, close to 5 1/2 or so cups of oat flour. So let's do this again. Doesn't seem to like the oats on this normal attachment. I think I should have used the larger attachment. It seems like turning it on and off during the process is helping, but I don't think you're supposed to do that either. I'm just looking at the box and it says the world's quietest mill. And I'm like, but are you? So I don't know. This is my first time using it, and then for the purpose I want to use it, it appears to be plugged. And so I was just reading the manual what to do when it's plugged. And I basically have to take this over to the sink, turn it upside down, turn it on coarse, and see if that doesn't unplug it. So, or it could be that this tube is clogged, but it's not. So, like, this unit gets really hot. But there's the flour I have so far. It is nice. Nice oat flour. Smells very oatmeal-y in the house right now. It doesn't appear to be clogged. So I'm going to take it over to the sink and see if I can't get the rest of this to come out. I don't know. If you have this and you have tips for us that are just now using it and figuring it out, why my rolled oats aren't working, let me know. Alrighty, well that definitely seemed to do the trick, tipping it upside down in the sink and then running it on course. Just tip there, if you get in that predicament, turn the unit off still like in your sink upside down till it's done. So I turned it off, but the engine was still revving, and when I pulled it out of the sink right side up, oat flour went everywhere, all over the counter. So I don't know, this is very like, oh, I like easy things in my life, and so far this experience hasn't been easy, other than the wheat berries. Like, I don't know. Send me some encouragement. Keep practicing, I guess, just like everything else. It takes time to learn a new piece of equipment for me. New technology is always intimidating, even though this is so not technology. All right. So I'm just storing this in a couple mason jars in my baking pantry. But I need, like, I think it's 1.5 or 2 cups for the recipe we're making today. And we have our first zucchini in the house, and we're just going to make some oat flour zucchini bread. But I did want to tell you, so since I started, you know, when I was raising my kids, I was not an informed parent about food. Like, I just raised them the way like my mom raised me, and like modern society, and buying whatever I could afford. And so I will tell you, I didn't, like, my kids ate their vegetables. They grew up well, but their vegetables were often canned vegetables from the grocery store. And, you know, we had our fair share of pizza rolls growing up in the house and all that good stuff that, come to find out, isn't so good for you. So now with my grandson here a lot, I really try to feed him healthy. And I really started using like oat flour and things like that in his pancakes instead of all-purpose flour. It's just one of the, like, if you take into account the healthiest flours that you could use, oat flour is on that top 6 list. Other flours are like your almond flour, your coconut flour, cassava flour, chickpea flour. So they're higher in protein content, number one. They're higher in the dietary fibers that your body needs. So they're giving you good gut benefit. But oat flour is also something that's considered a prebiotic. So it is feeding the probiotics to create a good gut health system. Environment for probiotics to thrive in your gut. And one thing to know is it's not going to be like a one-to-one replacement with getting the exact same texture as all-purpose flour. It is a denser flour. It's going to be chewier. It is a little sweeter than all-purpose flour, but I think it makes great like in muffins and pancakes. You know, if you're making like an oatmeal crumble bar, don't bother putting like all-purpose flour in there. Just use your oats and your oat flour. So that being said, we're gonna, like, zucchini bread is a dense bread. To replace all-purpose flour in zucchini bread to oat flour is going to be just fine, and then I'm not gonna be able to tell a difference. So let's find my favorite zucchini bread recipe, and I'll share that with you. It's called Mama's, and it's found on All Recipes. And I look this up every single year, and it's my favorite. Maybe it's called Mom's. Let me see if there's a Mama's though, make sure. It's called Mom's. Mom's zucchini bread on All Recipes. It has 8,759 reviews, a whole bunch of photos. It comes out with that nice crispy crust on the top. It's just so, so good. So that's what we're making today. Alrighty, friends, we are ready to go. We have our 3 cups of oat flour. We're gonna go in with a teaspoon each of salt, baking powder, and baking soda. And we're gonna sift all of that together with some cinnamon. I have my oven preheating behind me. I will leave the link to the recipe in case I misquote anything, which I've been known to do. Whoops, thought I was getting close to being done with salt. Alrighty, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. And then we're just gonna sift that all together. And then we'll mix in our wet ingredients. So if you want to write that down while I'm doing this, it's 2 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, a cup of oil, and a good dash of vanilla. I'm not sure what the recipe says, and I never follow a recipe when it comes to vanilla anyway. So, and then we'll mix these our wet ingredients really well, add that to our dry ingredients. I need to grate up my first zucchini of the year from the green stalk garden, and then we'll get to cooking it. The very first zucchini in this house gets turned into zucchini bread, always. And I want to give you guys a teaser. The next video, I'm trying to rush and get this done this morning because I'm going to Blocks, my favorite farmer's market. They have opened up. It's about, I don't know, 30 minutes north of here. Totally worth the drive, even if you're coming a couple hours to go there. They have tons of cooperatives with other local farmers, and they just have a great offering of products at a very affordable cost, whether it's, you know, something didn't work out for you in your garden this year. You guys know, if you're not new here, I'm not gardening this year. So I need to get potatoes and onions, and I might be tempted with a couple other things. So we'll see how that goes. So we have all of our dry ingredients sifted. Let's come in with our wets. So our oil. And I don't care what you guys choose to use as oil, but I always use avocado oil in my house. 2 eggs. And if you're new to baking and you're just young at learning these homemade skills, room temperature eggs is always best for baking. 2 cups of sugar, my dash of vanilla. Ooh, that's a big dash. All right, so I'm gonna beat that together. I won't bore you guys with that, and then we'll come back and we'll add all this together and throw in our zucchini. I was just thinking when I was grating the zucchini that I just finished from last fall, the last loaf. It's not even finished, it's right there in the foil. The last loaf of Amish bread when we got into our Amish bread extravaganza before the holidays. And just in time for zucchini bread season. How about that? Worked out perfectly. So I'm just adding my wet ingredients to the dry. We have 2 cups of shredded zucchini ready to throw in. And get all this goodness out. And anyway, I was telling you guys I'm going to the farmer's market. I cannot wait. It's called Blocks, B-L-O-C-K-S, on Middle Belt Road, Middle Belt in Eureka, up by the Detroit Metro Airport. So mix this in really well and then go in with our zucchini, fresh from our green stalk garden. And I actually didn't mention the temperature of the oven is at 325. And I think it'll bake, let me see, I'll tell you. We're gonna bake it for 40 to 60 minutes, depending on when it's done. And that'll be just in time for me to leave and head out. Incorporate in our shredded zucchini. And I'm not picky when it comes to my zucchini and baked goods like this. Like I had some, they're young seeds, they weren't old seeds, so they're nice and tender. I don't worry with taking out seeds ever. And this makes 2 loaves. So I do have my loaf pans here greased. Oh, the smell. Just always so reminiscent of summertime. Oddly, baked goods in the summer, but yes. So I'll see you guys back when this is all said and done. My oven is heated up to the appropriate temperature. I'm gonna put it in and bake it. And I'll cut into it and show you how that oat flour turned out. Alrighty, I think the bread is ready. That was only 45 minutes. I'm noticing right away it did not rise like all-purpose flour, but it is definitely done. I checked it. But it smells just as heavenly. It feels light and fluffy. Pop one of these out. Oh no, it's stuck. That's what I get for not waiting, huh? Oh. Yeah. Yum, 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 yum. So moist. So moist. All right. So I thought of a couple things. I was doing some research while this was wrapping up. So ignore my mess. You're just in my kitchen testing out recipes. But Wonder Mill, grinding oats, rolled oats are not recommended. It said basically do at your own risk. It's not warranted that the Wonder Mill can support that. They recommend using steel cut oats or whole oat groats. So lesson learned there for me. I should have did my research beforehand. And clogging was subject to happen if you attempt using rolled oats. So I guess it's not a fault of the Wonder Mill. It's a fault of the operator. I think, now they're cute. What I was going to say at the beginning of the video, they're super cute mills that like are wooden. I don't know the name or the brand of that one that would look, you know, pleasing to the eye sitting out on your counter all the time, and it's not as big potentially as the Wonder Mill is. I haven't used it because it is such a large machine and seems like a beast to get out. It's not heavy or anything like that. It's just a lot to get out and set up. So I told Todd, down where all my oats and things are, my my wheat berries are, I want to build a little station down there where this can just always be set up, and then I can grind things when I need to without having to fool with it. It's just ready to go. So I'm going to eat my zucchini bread, and thanks for coming with me on my test of the Wonder Mill, seeing how my zucchini bread turns out with it. I'm noticing just the only thing is it doesn't rise as well. And I'm anxious to dig into this so I can head out to the farmer's market. So I'll see you guys on the next video. We're gonna go through the cleaning process. Oh, whoops, I think did I need to start empty? I did. Turn on before filling the hopper. Whoops. Oh no, did I mess up already? Today's video filming is not going well, friends. All right, so I just did it again.